What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldogs Sports Hour on 990 WBOB, the number one radio program for all things Bryant athletics. I'm Brian Kostiw reporting to you remotely. I'm joined alongside, as always, by Matthew Carvalho in our Sprout co-working studios. Matt, I know we got a packed show. How you doing tonight?
Great to talk to you tonight, Brian. Plenty of great guests coming up tonight. Jam-packed show, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's a jam-packed show. We have four great guests joining the program in just a few short minutes. We're going to welcome in Bryant head women's basketball coach Lynne-Ann Kokoski for her first appearance on the program. Then following our first commercial break, we'll be joined alongside by head men's basketball coach Jamion for his second appearance on the show. As always, at 8:30, we'll have head football coach Merritt on for his weekly segment. This week, we'll break down his team's thriller against Campbell and look ahead to their upcoming 3-game homestand. And then finally tonight, pin hitter Ruth Ochelli from the Bryant women's volleyball team will join us as we'll talk about their recent success and her team sweep at Boston College. But Matt, I know you just said it was going to be a very quick opening here at the show, so I wanted to say that first off, we have our first guest of the evening. They are joining us on the Sprout Co-working Expert Hotline. For all your co-working needs, large or small, visit sproutcoworking.com. Now on the line is Bryant head women's basketball coach Lynne-Ann Kokoski. Coach Lynn, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good, Coach. Well, hey, thank you for, making your first appearance on the show. We're glad to have you here. And, kind of with that, I guess we'll just kind of jump in. Just, take us through how the past couple months have been, with the summer and now transitioning with the first official practices opening up this week.
Yeah, it's crazy to believe that, first official practice was this morning. And obviously we couldn't be more excited. Had a great 5 weeks of summer school here in the dead of summer from June 22nd through July 25th, and really laid a great foundation. Saw some really good stuff, returned a good core of leadership, of great experience, and obviously some kids that played some major impact roles from last season. So, with the addition of a few new people, just working out some chemistry stuff now, but very promising.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we are going to see the returning. You have some great familiar faces that helped you guys reach your first America East Conference semifinals last year. That includes Mia Mancini, Mimi Rubino, Miranda Nyborg, and Nia Scott, just to name a couple. Just talk about how those returners have really been able to, what they were able to kind of take away from that experience last year, and how they're looking, a summer and that kind of all time later.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned those four individuals. Those guys they've done a tremendous job just in terms of leadership. They've made my job a lot easier. They know the expectation. They've been coaching themselves up. It's amazing. They'll stop drills and they'll say, hey, this is how we do it. So I think we're moving in the right direction with that great leadership, especially from those four that you mentioned.
Yeah, I definitely have to say, when you look at, Mimi, Miranda, who, were in grad classes last year, they bring a lot of experience to the table, just not even with their time at Bryant, but just even at their previous stops. When you can have that kind of a veteran leadership on the team, just talk about the value that brings for, you and your program.
Yeah, they're entering their second year as captains, obviously second year in the program with me. And, they've just stepped up tremendously. I think those two were hurt the most when we lost in the semifinals at Vermont. And I said, remember that feeling. And they've really taken that to heart, this summer. And as we started back for the fall semester here. So they've done a tremendous job of just leading this group and, pulling everyone along, as well as Mia and Nia Scott. Those two have obviously been with us since day one when we took over, going on 3 years ago now. So when you put the combination of those four together, I can look over and those are our dependables. I call those guys dependables. And those are people that show up every single day and they know the expectation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the big takeaways that, just being able to watch them last season was just really seeing the growth happen in real time with them. You saw that with Nia towards the end of the season really start to, come into her own and, take more authority. And then with Mimi, you started to see those shots fall from the outside and really get to see that growth for yourself as a coach. When that all starts to click and come together, how rewarding is that, kind of when that starts to all take shape?
Yeah, well, especially when you have those two that you mentioned who work extremely hard day in and day out, and they show up and they're super competitive. You love to see, them reap the benefits of it paying off, of, they put in the time day after day, those two especially. And as a coach, you can't ask for anything more than that when you see, good things happen to good people.
Yeah. And then, we'll talk about some of the new additions you guys had in just a second. But when you have, all these new pieces come in, I feel like, as a coach, you can only do so much when it comes to, welcoming them in and making them feel at home. Just talk about how, these veterans and returners have, really kind of been able to put themselves out there and allow these newcomers to really lean on them in that transition.
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned, after we lost to Vermont in the semifinals, and, they got a taste of a postseason appearance with a heartbreaker against Army in the WNIT, those four especially came together and said, this is what we want to be about. And, when we brought in, some new players, freshmen, a combination of freshmen and transfers, they were the ones that stepped up and said, this is how we're going to do it. Because they know our level of expectation as coaches. And again, they're an extension of us. So they've made, my job a lot easier, our job as coaches a lot easier. And they've continued that throughout the summer, throughout this, obviously, fall semester and the first day of practice today. Especially Miranda Nyborg. I mean, she'll be like, Coach, can I stop practice for a second? And she'll explain something. And I sit back and I just smile because I'm like, wow, like when you can get to a player-led team, you can make some special things happen. And I can just focus on strategy and other things like that.
Absolutely. When you do kind of look at some of those new players, I think that one that's going to come to mind, and maybe catch some eyes at first for some people would be Abby Lindsay, just because of the familiarity with the name since she was, competing against you guys just a couple months ago. Just talk about what it was like getting to, get her to, don the black and gold now.
Yeah, I mean, it probably helped when she scored her career high last year against Bryant University women's basketball. But, we joked about that. I said, well, there's one thing I know you can score at Bryant. So, she's been a great kid, great addition, works extremely hard, super coachable, and probably most importantly, like one of the best attitudes, shows up, really happy, person to be there. And again, another great teammate. So we're looking forward to utilizing her, to fit in with, that returning core, because I think she's a great fit for what we're trying to do this season.
Yeah. And then I also had a chance to talk with Rose Nelson before I had left, and, just getting the chance to talk with her, she seems really, level-headed, is able to really, be in control, and is very, mature for, herself as a player. Just talk about what she has kind of been like, getting into this program as well.
Yeah, she's a natural leader. And so that's obviously been, a really good addition of maturity when you talk about bringing in more experienced players. So you have Abby Lindsay, who's played major minutes, at a previous school, and then Rose Nelson as well. So she's going to be great. Her and Miranda Nyborg played a season together at their previous institutions. So they've got a really neat connection. But again, just an all-around great person that wants to win, that's going to work hard. She's probably one of the strongest post players I've come across, and my years of doing this. And again, another one that just shows up with a great attitude every day. When we talk about not coaching energy, effort, or attitude, we have a lot of those this season, and that makes our jobs so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. In addition to, bringing in new players, you also had the responsibility of filling out and having a new staff come in on the coaching
Mhm.
side. You were able to bring in a lot of different experienced and a great, a different array of people with, Michael Murphy, Devin Hill, Sherry, and then Sherry Elazier. Sorry for any
That's all right,
pronunciation
Aliza.
issues. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, perfect. So for you, just when it came to, bringing all them in, what was that like? And, how did that kind of all come together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when, you get a colleague calling you and telling you they're interested in, hiring one of your assistants, you get the ball rolling, and obviously had two assistants leave rather quickly, with getting new spots. And that happens at our level, especially when you have some success. And anyone as a head coach knows that you got to kind of keep people in mind, as you go. But, to be able to get some experience such as Michael Murphy, I mean, he's been on the men's side for the last 12 years. He was a former head coach on the women's side at Troy for 10 years. To have someone of his caliber of coaching experience, whether it's men, women, head coach, assistant coach, he's done it all, and he's won at a lot of places, and that was really exciting and enticing. I keep telling, our administration, we are so lucky to have someone of his caliber, that wanted to come to Bryant University to help us elevate this program even further. So really excited. He's brought a lot of new ideas, with so much experience, you would never know, just based on his energy every single day. He's literally a kid in a candy shop. He's rejuvenated. He believes we can win. And that's all you can ask. Again, just having good people around you that have the same values and pour into what you're trying to build, is what I've been looking for. Devin and Cherie actually have a mutual connection as well. Devin and I have known each other for many years when he was on the high school circuit. Matter of fact, he coached a former player here, and I'm blanking on her name from the first year I coached here. So he's got some connections to Bryant and has known about it. And then he moved to the college sector, and we kind of connected after that. And, he said he'd be interested. He actually was commuting 2 hours to LIU Brooklyn last season. And when I had an opening, I kind of, had asked him, and he's like, Coach, I live 15 minutes down the road. Like, this would be a dream come true. So many conversations later. He's
great to see.
He's been a phenomenal. I mean, I think everyone's enamored by the fact that he's 6'9". So that'll be really fun to look up at him every huddle and ask him what he sees from the view up there.
Yeah.
But and then Cherie and him had worked together at one point in their basketball careers. So and she's great energy. So tons of experience, all three of them. I think I went from, the oldest person on my staff last season being 34 years old, to that being now the youngest on my staff, besides obviously my director of ops, Riley Howard. So when you talk about experience, I said that to them. I said, we have so much experience in the room. Honestly, it's just sifting through and not trying to put everything in at once, is what I'm battling right now. So.
Absolutely. All right, Coach. Well, I think we have a heart out here. So I just wanted to say thank you again for joining us on the program. We'll talk soon before you guys tip off in November. So take care, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
All right. Take care, Coach. All right, Matt. Well, we have to head off to commercial pretty soon. You are listening to 990 WBOB.
This Columbus Day weekend, Saturday, October 11th, Foxwoods Resort Casino. CES Boxing presents Bloodlines. Gotti versus Hagler. Two legendary family names to battle as John Gotti III returns to the ring to face James Hagler Jr. Plus, Bridgeport's undefeated Jacob Lefty Marrero. Amateur standout and 2-0 Amelia Moore. Waterbury's undefeated prospect Cavante Wineglass. And the return of Stevie Jane Coleman. Saturday, October 11th, Gotti versus Hagler. Get tickets now at CESfights.com.
Everyday people just like you search for natural solutions to combat cognitive haze, stress, fatigue, and pain. That's why there's CBDmindful.com. Your trusted guide to a balanced, well-focused lifestyle. Whether you're new to CBD or exploring advanced uses, CBDmindful.com is your platform. That's CBDmindful.com.
Fall Saturdays are best spent watching the Bryant Bulldogs at Burns Stadium. Don't miss out on all the action this fall. CAA football, Kids Zone, the Phantom Farms Beer Garden, and more. Single game tickets for Bryant Football are on sale at BryantTickets.com or by calling 401-319-8499. That number is 401-319-8499.
From delays to the 7-day outlook, 990 WBOB has you covered with our all-new weather page. The weather moves fast and you need the latest info to plan your day. Let 990 WBOB provide the essential knowledge you need about current conditions. Stay informed with the latest storm info from any device. Plan your commute or your weekend in the sun in seconds with one click. 990 WBOB has all your weather info, including cancellations, closing alerts, and more. Stay informed, warm, and dry with the all-new 990 WBOB weather page made for you.
You're listening to 990WBOB.com, Renegade Radio.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bryant Bulldogs Sports Hour here on 990 WBOB. I'm Brian Kostiw, joined alongside by Matthew Carvalho. Matt, it's almost time for our second interview of the night, but before we get to that, I just wanted to say that tonight's broadcasts are brought to you by Sprout Coworking. For all your coworking needs, meetings, office for a day, working remotely, events, or just trying to get away from the distractions at home, Sprout Coworking in Providence, Rhode Island has you covered. The official co-working home of 990 WBOB. Matt, I don't know if we have Coach Christian ready to go on the line yet. Has he called in to you yet, or have you had any word just yet?
He has not yet, Brian. We're just waiting on the cue.
Okay, well, we're just waiting. We'll just be waiting on him at the moment. But in the meantime, Matt, great talk with Coach Lynn there. Obviously last season, the Bryant women's basketball team had a great run, making it to the America East semifinals for the first time in school history. Coach Lynn also added they had that WNIT appearance against Army. And it was great exposure for both the men's and women's teams, getting to see them in postseason, action for basketball, and even Brian getting to host that WNIT game.
Certainly, Brian. Definitely some good stuff on that front. 100%, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and Matt, I don't know if you had gotten a chance to check on them, but last year when you looked at all that they were able to accomplish. The Bryant women's basketball team last year, they had kind of different bumps in the road, but I think largely enough towards the end of the season, we got to see a lot of things come together, and it was a great overall result for them in the end. And I think that really the sky is the limit going forward. So I'm getting the word now that I think Coach Christian will be joining us very shortly. So hold tight, everybody. We will be on with him in just a few moments. But, Matt, as we look ahead to the Bryant men's basketball team, there's a lot of positives to look up with them going on later on this season. When we kind of first think of them, it's going to be a largely new roster from last season with, the Earl Timberlakes of the world, the Raf Pinzones, the Connor Withers. Those guys have kind of gone their own separate way. And then when you look at the new roster, you have some returning faces that seem familiar. You have Ja'Kai Robinson. You have Aaron Davis, who had great moments with the Bulldogs last season. And then Khalil Williams, who's the other notable scholarship player for them, returning. So there's a lot of, high hopes and expectations with them there. But then, Coach Christian, to his credit, has done a great job of recruiting in new talent. Mainly Quincy Allen has been one that's really caught my eye. The fifth-year transfer from Chicago State. He's had not only just great, overall talent and playing experience, but he also has that, championship level experience of, going to a March Madness tournament. Although he was hurt during that time when he was with James Madison, he had a chance to be a part of, a postseason run like that. So I think, Bryant getting that and having, newer faces like that on its roster has a great advantage. I mean, Matt, what are your thoughts on all that?
Well, definitely, Brian, a new young roster. Certainly unproven, but with a lot to prove. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do next season. The expectations are high. The ceiling is high. Following the fantastic, memorable season last year, there's certainly high expectations for this team going into this season.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, it is time to welcome in our second guest of the night, Coach Jamion Christian of the Bryant men's basketball team. He's brought to you by the Sprout Co-working phone lines for all your co-working needs, large or small. Visit SproutCoworking.com. Coach Christian, how you doing tonight?
It's great to be on here, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely, you got it. So, Coach, I know just as we get into it, just for you again, we had, I know Tristan had a chance to talk with you a couple weeks ago about just the transition here to Smithfield and how that's all gone. With this, first semester kind of starting to get underway for the athletes, just talk about how they've all transitioned and how things are looking now in the fall with, first official practices starting up.
Well, yeah, it's a beautiful time of year. And it's a time of year where everything's filled with so much promise and so much hope. And so you want to hold on to that as long as possible. That enthusiasm is really needed for the adversity that's going to be ahead of us. And, every good team and every good program is going to face some sort of adversity at some point through the course of the season. So you want to use this enthusiasm as much as you can just to keep pushing through and to keep a reminder of what it feels like to be in a great place. And, I've been really enthusiastic with our team. One of the things that's been great with our team so far is we really have an ability to practice at a high level and to compete at a high level for a long period of time. That's fun to be around. We talk about competition is everything, practice is everything. So to be around a group of guys who naturally sort of fit into that and are excited about having a chance to get better every single day, it's been a lot of fun. And first day of official practice for us begins tomorrow, and we'll get a chance to put those practice jerseys on for a little bit and really start to focus on the goal ahead.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know that it's a largely new roster for, maybe a lot of the fans here in Smithfield. There are 3 scholarship athletes returning in Ja'Kai Robinson, Khalil Williams, and Aaron Davis. Just for your perspective coming in, just how have those kind of returning guys welcomed in some of these new faces and kind of shown them the ropes here with Bryant and how that's all kind of been?
Well, number one, I'm super appreciative of them as men choosing to stay at Bryant. Like their passion for Bryant University, their passion for our basketball program and for the future was evident when we got here. And I'm very appreciative of them. When I was a senior at Mount St. Mary's, we had a new coach come in Milan Brown replacing Jim Phelan. So I've also been in their shoes. I know what it feels like to have a new coach come in with a new vision, a new idea, maybe another vision of how success can look like. And so, I understand the anxiety that they each go through. And, so I have a lot of respect for what they've been able to do here. Number one, I think they've led with a good understanding of what it is like to work. One thing I thought, the previous staff did a great job of is these guys all really worked hard. These 3 returners plus Sepe plus Langston as well. Plus Frankie. The walk-ons that remained here too. They're just always in the gym, and so they brought that understanding of what it took to be a champion just by how much they were in the gym and how much they love being around our basketball program. So I would say it's not just the 3 scholarship guys. The 6 returning guys that really helped us kind of get a jump start of what it's like to be here at Bryant. And I got a really quick understanding of why they were really good here. And it's because they spent a lot of time in the gym. They spent a lot of time together, and they had incredible joy to play with one another.
Absolutely. You kind of just said it there that there are, different ways to go about winning, and there's a different vision for each coach. I've heard it kind of talked about in different interviews that you've kind of had. I've heard it from, other sources and different people like that, this team is going to have a very different kind of play style as to the group as to last year. And I was kind of just wondering for maybe, some of the layman people at home that are trying to kind of figure it out, just in terms of optics and what it's going to look like on the court, just what is the identity of this team going to probably be around?
Well, number one, excuse me. Well, our identity, for every team I've been a part of, number one, we're going to shoot a lot of threes. And the ability to shoot a lot of threes starts with the ability to move the basketball, the ability to pass the ball. We want to get the ball from side to side over and over again in a possession, make everyone a threat, which I think is really challenging to do. Excuse me.
No worries.
It's really challenging to do, but each possession, we want everybody to be a threat over and over again. We want a balanced attack. We'd love to get 4 or 5 guys in double figures. The ability to be able to do that allows everyone to really be tough to guard. I think that's the best way for us to have an incredible amount of success moving forward. And, so it'll be different. Last year, one of the best isolation teams in the country, one of the best 2-point percentage teams in the country. We're probably going to shoot 51% of our shots from 3 and hopefully lead our league in assists.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, there are some great new additions to this roster. I was talking about it with our producer Matt just before you came on. We talked about Quincy Allen. We talked about just some different players like that are going to have a big impact on the roster, like Keegan Harvey. For you, just what do these kind of guys that you helped in recruit and bring in? What just kind of for the fans in Smithfield, just talk about what they're going to be able to bring to the table.
Quincy Allen's an incredible athlete, former top
Yeah.
75 player in the country coming out of high school, has bounced around a little bit, but I think he's really found a home here at Bryant and understanding what we like to do and how we like to play. A young guy that I had a chance to recruit out of high school, so very familiar with his play style when he's playing confidently and aggressive. We're working really hard to get him back there. I got to shoot the three, but really is just an incredible athlete and really an incredible defender. One of the best transition players I've seen in a long time. Keegan Harvey, another guy who came with me basically from George Washington. We really tried to have a roster of 4s and 5s that could shoot the ball from the outside, but also post up. We're fortunate. I don't know how many teams in the American East are going to have 2 7-footers, with Danny Aku as well. 2 7-footers that can shoot the ball from the outside and be able to post up on the inside. So that versatility and that ability to build a system around all the versatile pieces, allowing them to really make strong decisions, I think is something that's going to be very strong for us, playing with a high basketball IQ and the ability to move the ball. So I think that's, a couple of things with those couple guys who've been really good. You talk about a guy, formerly Ja'Kai Robinson, a really high IQ guy who played last year, a lot of different positions. We're going to try to transition him to the point guard spot for us to give us a bigger guard in the backcourt there, who's another former top 75 player in the country as well. So, just trying to use our talent in a lot of different ways, allow each other to be at their very best.
Absolutely. And Coach, I know as we're up against it now, you guys have your first game still over a month away, November 3rd at Siena. I know that'll be a very interesting game for you, obviously, with your previous ties there. Just for you guys in the team and everything with that, over these next, call it 40 plus days or so, what are some things that you guys still want to maybe, polish up on and improve upon before, the first tip is in the air?
Yeah, we want to get that half-court defense really sound and solid. Obviously we're going to be one of the bigger teams in the country with our size and length. So we want to be able to get that, really be able to play our tempo and be able to win games defensively, when the offense maybe isn't going. We want to really get our flow, the way we move the ball side to side together. I think those are 2 major areas right now. And then, over top of all that, it's just the ability to love, the passion to play as one unit, understanding what that looks like. I think when our teams are at their very best, they have the ability to inspire our community and inspire people when they get a chance to watch us play. That's the overall goal we want to be able to do, is try to help inspire people when they watch us. We want to inspire ourselves, just kind of sharpen that sword every single day, being our very best.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I know we're up against a commercial break right now, so I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on again. We really appreciate it, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thanks so much. Go Bulldogs.
All right. Well, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. When we are back, we'll be joined alongside by Bryant head football coach Chris Merritt. You are listening to 990 WBOB.
Co-working, offering flexible workspace, dedicated desks, private offices, and meeting rooms of all sizes. Don't want to be limited to 9 to 5? Sprout Co-working has membership plans that give you 24/7 access to our facility. With 2 convenient locations in Providence and Warren, Sprout offers the opportunity for our members to work, meet, and play. Call today to book a tour, 401-536-9336. That's 401-536-9336, or online at sproutcoworking.com. Work better at Sprout Co-working.
You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
Sometimes kids play with pretend guns. It's up to us to make sure they don't play with real ones. Keep yours stored locked and unloaded. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Fall Saturdays are best spent watching the Bryant Bulldogs at Burns Stadium. Don't miss out on all the action this fall. CAA football, Kids Zone, the Phantom Farms Beer Garden, and more. Single game tickets for Bryant Football are on sale at BryantTickets.com or by calling 401-319-8499. That number is 401-319-8499.
You're listening to 990WBOB.com, Renegade Radio.
All right, what is going on, everybody? We are back here on the Bryant Bulldogs Sports Hour. You're listening to 990 WBOB. Brian Kostiw, Matthew Carvalho. We're joined here by our next guest here on the Sprout Co-working phone lines. It is head football coach Chris Merritt, joining us as always for his weekly segment. Coach, glad to have you back on the program. How you doing tonight?
Thanks, Brian. Doing great, buddy. How about you?
Absolutely, Coach. Well, listen, it was an absolute thriller for you and your team down in North Carolina. Obviously, just ball didn't bounce your way there in the end, but an incredible performance and, great, definitely some great highlights on all three phases of the ball, scoring in all three phases. We'll start tonight with your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were slow out the gates. I thought we came out a little bit flat. They pushed on us there early, but we, very similar to the UMass game, we got a quick score right before halftime. That we got some momentum back on our side. Came out in the second half. I thought we were playing at a pretty high level there, and I think for a good quarter and a half, really kind of took the game back under control, took a lead. But at 5 minutes, I think the crucial turning point in the game is at 5 minutes left to go in the ball game when the defense got a turnover deep into their territory, about the 25. And then for the next 5 consecutive plays, all three phases of the team had the opportunity to put the game away. And we fell short, 3 and out on offense, missed a field goal. Then the very first play on defense, they gave up the 80-yard bomb. So that right there. And then after that, it was just, it was tuck and go. I thought we played toe to toe from there on out, both sides, big plays on offense and defense. And once you get into overtime, that's with the way the things are in overtime right now, that's some tough sledding. And, we had to go for 2 points there. I thought about going for 2 points after the first, or after the touchdown to tie the ball game to not go into overtime. And, smart move on their behalf. They called timeout right as we snapped the football. And it's a good thing they did because we had what we wanted. And but we couldn't come back to that play, and they would have. But that I'm converting those 2 points would have given us the victory. And but they hats off to them. They called a timeout right away in order to get a picture of what we were doing, and just explain to the guys that winning on the road in the CAA is tough. And we have to strain through all 4 quarters. And when you let up a little bit against a team that is straining against you, that's where you lose the ball game. And got to live and learn from it and come back, and nobody cares. We're going to come back and play Towson here at home this Saturday. We're done with the first month of the season. And, we finished 2-2. Now the next these next 4 games are crucial for us and what kind of a season we're going to have.
Absolutely. And now, now that you guys have that first CAA game under your belt, we have, a whole month of football to kind of look back on. When you look at the UMass game, you see the offensive output that you guys had against Bentley last week. And then we see what you guys were able to do down at Campbell with, 48 points this past weekend. Just how do you feel that, the team's play style translates to CAA? Do you think that do you think it translated? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to remember that we scored 48, but 2 of those touchdowns, one was a defensive pick 6, and the other one was a kick return.
Yeah.
We're still turning the football over way too much. Mm-hmm. But I do feel that we've got that big play ability. I think that we've got 3 home run hitters coming out of the backfield at the running back position. And I believe that we have the ability to strike deep. Given the speed that we have at wide receiver. I think that offensively we provide, we pose some issues for defenses in our conference because of the matchups. And I think that, as long as we don't turn the football over, I think that we have a great opportunity to put enough winning points on the board.
Yeah. When looking at Brendan Meyer and his day, there was some positives, some negatives on those sides. It was kind of a up and down day there. With the 3 total touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 rushing, 1 passing, and then the 3 turnovers with the 2 picks and the fumble. For a young quarterback like that, and yourself kind of analyzing it, what is the kind of takeaway from that? Because I know that, you see the promise with him at the end, connecting on the late touchdown pass to Al, and some different things like that. Just what were your kind of takeaways on your QB's performance?
Well, nobody's harder on Brennan than Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he took Saturday night pretty hard because he knew that a couple of those plays he wish he could pull the string back. He doesn't he wants so badly to win that sometimes he goes out of the framework of what he needs to do and throws those risky passes. And there were 3 plays for sure. I know he wish he had back. I know he wish he had the strip sack fumble, just taking more conscious of ball security in that deal. But I think the one pass interception that was thrown on the sidelines, he didn't see the defender behind a receiver ahead of him, and instead of just throwing the ball away. And I think the last one he could have took back as he pulled the ball on a 4th and short when he should have just handed it off. But that's nobody's harder on Brennan than Brennan. He's going to look at those plays more than he is the great passes that he was making to Al and the touchdown that he ran in the overtime when he ducked underneath the defender and ran it for 20 yards for a touchdown. He doesn't, he doesn't look at those as much as he does the corrections, and that's what we love about him, is that he's just going to continue to get better.
Absolutely. And then as you look ahead with, just off before we get to the upcoming homestand that you guys have, I know that you had Liam Lindo with the pick 6 there, with a key pick 6 there in the end. And then, as you mentioned, with the kick return from Kalijah Williams, tying the school record with a 100-yard return. Again, you're seeing, back-to-back weeks where you're seeing, special teams plays go for touchdowns. And then, on the defensive side, you guys are making plays like that for, yourself as a coach when you're having that kind of working for yourself too. Just, obviously it didn't work out in this one, but talk about what that can lead to further on down the road for this team.
Yeah, I think being explosive in all phases of the ball game just makes you a better team. Number one, it's complementary football. Guys are playing off each other. And the energy off each other. And anytime your special teams can contribute what we've been able to do with the special teams through the first month of the season, I think that's key, because that forces every opponent just to prepare. They can't prepare for everything, right? So it just really forces opponents to prepare for so many assets or facets of our offense and defense and special teams that just takes time away from if you don't have to worry about their special teams, right, you're not going to spend a whole lot of time preparing for it, if that makes sense. So I think they have to really make sure that their kick protections are sound, because we blocked a few kicks. I think now their kickoff coverage, they better think twice about kicking the ball to one. And, these are things that just make a team that gives you that extra 3 points here, that extra point there, or sometimes a touchdown that just makes a difference.
Absolutely. Well, now, Coach, as we look forward to this upcoming weekend, I know you guys have Towson at home this weekend. It's the start of a 3-game homestand for you guys, with then UMaine following for the homecoming game, and then the Friday night game under the lights against Brown. It's going to be an exciting 3 weeks here in Smithfield. For you guys in those, next 3 games, I know that you were saying it's very difficult to win on the road in the CAA, and now you have a chance to, have some good games at home here. Just talk about, after seeing the identity of this team and what you guys are able to do well, just talk about what you want to, be able to do with this team to set the tone early in those games.
Sure. This is the first time since I've been here in my 6 years that we've had 3 consecutive home games. And if you look at our schedule, we knew we were going to spend the first month on the road. When you look at our remainder of our schedule, we're 5 home games, 3 away games. We don't have to leave the state of Rhode Island until November. And, so we're excited about that opportunity. I think it gets everybody involved. I really like the atmosphere on campus of our games, our home games. I think our athletic department does an excellent job there. And, we're looking, we need to take advantage of the home field advantage. We have to, for us to get out of the bottom half, we have to beat the bottom half. And those teams are coming here to Rhode Island, and we need to do our job. And, and then we worry about the last month of the season when the last month rolls around. But right now, we're excited to play at home in front of our fans, in front of our students, and for once, let's get after some teams here, huh?
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we're all looking forward to it. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. on Saturday against Towson. We'll talk to you again soon, Coach. We thank you again for joining us here on the hotline.
All right, Brian. Take care, buddy.
All right. Take care, Coach. All right. Well, Matt, we're about to be coming up on a commercial break here, but before we do, I know we have just a couple minutes. Matt, what were some of your takeaways just from the Bryant game and everything there?
Well, certainly, Brian, with this game that just got over with Campbell, I mean, there was a lot of good things to take away from it, and from what I see, I mean, I know Coach said the team started out slow, but I don't know. I mean, it seemed like fast-paced throughout this entire game. It seemed like nothing really averted your attention of both teams giving it their all, and I think it was a game where Campbell just got that extra bit in the end, but I think it really was good efforts on both sides.
Yeah, it kind of felt like, it's that old adage of, whoever has the ball last. And, in, the NFL, traditionally it's, with regulation, and it's just going to be, just the time on the clock ran out, or it's, something like that. But with it being this and, college football, it just came down to that last possession. And, on that last throw, it was, right out of the hands and almost came back on a deflection and could have been a wild turn of events there in that second overtime. But, like Coach said, it's, the team's going to move on and move forward from it. And it's exciting. You got 3 upcoming home games here at the new Navigate Credit Union Fieldhouse at Burns Stadium. So it's going to be an exciting time here in Smithfield. Really looking forward to it. Can't hope to get out to some of those games in those next 3 weeks. So, Matt, I know we're up against a commercial here. I know that coming up next, we're going to be joined alongside by Bryant University women's volleyball player, Ruth Ochelli. She's going to join us. Just a little preview there. She's a rookie outside hitter for us, and she's been tremendous over these past couple of weeks. Had a great weekend for the Bulldogs at the Boston College Invitational, helping the Bulldogs sweep that tournament. So we're going to be looking forward to having her on the program in just a few minutes. We will be back after a short commercial break. You are listening to 990 WBOB.
Just like you. Search for natural solutions to combat cognitive haze, stress, fatigue, and pain. That's why there's CBDmindful.com. Your trusted guide to a balanced, well-focused lifestyle. Whether you're new to CBD or exploring advanced uses, CBDmindful.com is your platform. That's CBDmindful.com.
Being a business owner is 24/7, no doubt about it. And the good thing about Weebly is the ease in which I can create a beautiful website.
Minimal time and money, we got a website up and running. And all of a sudden, you have exposure to millions of people. It went from making 1 frame for us at home to 3,000, 4,000 frame order. To work for yourself is such a rewarding feeling.
Go to Weebly.com today and make your dream big.
On average, people have to wait 29.3 days to see a doctor. Anyone living with erectile dysfunction, hair loss, or cold sores knows that kind of wait just won't work. That's why there's Roman, the digital health clinic for men. Complete a free online visit, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed physician within 24 hours. If medication is right for you, Roman delivers it with free 2-day shipping, always in discreet packaging. Get started today with a free online visit at GetRoman.com/TV. Roman, let's take care of it.
This Columbus Day weekend, Saturday, October 11th, Foxwoods Resort Casino. CES Boxing presents Bloodlines, Gotti versus Hagler. 2 legendary family names to battle as John Gotti III returns to the ring to face James Hagler Jr. Plus, Bridgeport's undefeated Jacob Lefty Marrero. Amateur standout and 2-0 Amelia Moore. Waterbury's undefeated prospect, Cavante Wineglass, and the return of Stevie Jane Coleman. Saturday, October 11th, Gotti versus Hagler. Get tickets now at CESFights.com.
Work better at Sprout Co-working, offering flexible workspace, dedicated desks, private offices, and meeting rooms of all sizes. Don't want to be limited to 9 to 5? Sprout Co-working has membership plans that give you 24/7 access to our facility. With 2 convenient locations in Providence and Warren, Sprout offers the opportunity for our members to work, meet, and play. Work Professional and casual, flexible or dedicated, Sprouts Workspace comes with no long-term commitment. Meet. Sprouts' 14 to 20 seat conference center and 4 to 8 seat meeting rooms offer a professional space to hold meetings, interviews, and conferences. Play! Sprout members have a use of a variety of amenities, including gallery nights, bike paths, fitness center, and more. Call today to book a tour. 401-536-9336. That's 401-536-9336. Or online at sproutcoworking.com. Work better at Sprout Coworking.
You're listening to 990WBOB.com, Renegade Radio.
Just want to say that to join the WBOB team this fall, watching your Bryant Bulldogs at Burns Stadium, single game tickets are now on sale at BryantTickets.com. For more on the Bulldogs, listen to the Bryant Bulldog Radio here on 990 WBOB. And as we get into the final stretch here, I just want to say that tonight's final guest is brought to you by the Sprout Co-working phone lines. For all your co-working needs, large or small, visit SproutCoworking.com. Now on the Sprout Co-working phone line is Bryant volleyball player Ruth Ochelli joining us. Ruth, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, Ruth. Well, obviously it was a very eventful weekend for you guys. You got the 3-game sweep out at BC. It was an incredible 5-set thriller against Boston College in the nightcap after the doubleheader with Stonehill. We'll just take us through the whole weekend and just give us some opening thoughts.
Honestly, I think the weekend was super fun. This entire preseason has been a growing experience for our whole team. We've been running a lot of different things, a lot of different lineups, and I feel like recently we found what works for our team, and I feel like that showed throughout our play. Everything was connecting. Our defense was good. Our offense was good. Our serving ratios were good. Like, everything just connected this weekend, and I think it really took everyone, and it obviously showed because we had a great weekend, and it was really fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, for yourself, this is your first year in the black and gold in Smithfield. Just talk about how that transition has been for you. I know you were talking about it as a team, but for yourself, making the transition and coming up here to Rhode Island, how's that been treating you?
Honestly, it's been good. In the beginning, I did feel pretty lost. Like, preseason, it was a lot. I definitely think it was, but I think it was a easy transition in the sense that the girls were really welcoming. They are literally like big sisters, like so helpful. They help me with a lot of things. Like, they teach me stuff too. But honestly, I think the biggest, I want to not struggle, but just finding my rhythm, because obviously we have 3 setters, and it's coming from high school to college, especially at this level, just settling in. It definitely took a while, but once it got there, it was good.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know that you guys have really started to see that success as of late. I know you guys are starting to kind of go to that 5-1 rotation a lot more. And then, for you, just particularly, we've seen you really kind of emerge on the scene this past weekend with career high 20 kills. It tied was more than double what your previous career high was at the time. And, you had 13 in that dramatic win over BC. For yourself, just talk about how good it's been to have that early success so far in your college career.
Honestly, I literally just thank God. It's honestly so good. Knowing that all the hard work that we've been doing in preseason, knowing that it's all coming together, literally all I can do is thank God. And I'm honestly so glad that I get to see the fruit of my work manifesting now. And yeah, it's really good and it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that for you guys, it was you guys had some, you guys were tested very early in the season. You guys were down at Duke for a very competitive tournament down there, and then even at home, you guys had some very fierce competition come in here in Army, St. Thomas, and Stony Brook, and they, really tested you guys. And for yourselves to then be able to rally from that, go on a 4-game winning streak now, and get back to 500, and just looking ahead to New Haven and then Dartmouth coming up this week before conference play. Just talk about, where the team is mentally right now.
I definitely feel like every single game we've had the game, like next game mentality. Win or lose, we're focused on the next opponents and how we're going to succeed from there. We work hard every single practice, keeping that at like the center of our focus. So I feel like the team is honestly really locked in. Like we have a goal this season and we're really working and striving to achieve that goal. So yeah.
Absolutely. And then for you all, like with the chance now to head into America East play this weekend, it seems like it's like all the non-conference stuff. It seems like it's over so quickly. It feels like you're in it, and then conference play just hits you immediately. For you all, just talk about that challenge that you guys have starting on Sunday with UAlbany, and what that's gonna look like forward going in this season.
I definitely think going into conference play, I feel like we're solid. Like I said, we've been working in practice a lot on our connections, our rotations, and honestly, we're just taking it one game at a time, treating every single opponent the same, and yeah, like. We'll see what's to come, but like we know we're going in with a very competitive mindset and we know what our goals are. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know for yourself, it's going to be an incredible, ride the rest of the way. I know just, getting to see what the Bryant volleyball team has been able to do over the past couple of years. It's, having worked for them the last 2 years, you had it was a pretty, collected and pretty same unit for the past 2 seasons, and now this season you have yourself come in, you have a lot of those seniors go out, and it's been largely trying to find that new identity, that new culture of the team. And it seems like you guys have found something these past couple games. Just talk about what you guys think that has been and really led to that success.
During preseason, we focused a lot on like team bonding and team chemistry, and the girls have already had like a great culture established. That's honestly one of the like reasons why I came. Like, it's just so obvious, like the bond between the girls is so tight, and everyone like genuinely wants everyone to achieve. Like, I think it's pretty obvious that it's a we over me mindset, and it's like more so the team, like whatever is best for the team. And I think like growing on that, and like as I said before, like continuing to work hard and practice, like we all have the same goal, and like we're all like-minded on that. So I think like we're definitely going to achieve what we want to.
Absolutely. And then before we go, I know that you were talking about your teammates and how much they've been a big support for you. Just for yourself early on, who has been maybe a teammate or two that you've particularly leaned on in this transition to college?
Honestly, like truly, I feel like everyone, like honestly, like literally everyone, like from the sophomores to literally the seniors, like literally since the second I stepped foot on campus since preseason, everyone's been so helpful. My seniors, Ari, Leah, London, Anna, like they've literally all been like big sisters to me. Melly, like I literally love everyone on that team. So honestly, everyone, honestly.
No, I was about to say it's a good group, and especially those seniors that you mentioned. It's good to see what it's going to be exciting to see what they do in their final go around here. So we're all excited to see where it goes, and we're excited to see what you do the rest of the way. We hope that we'll have to see how things go as going on from here. But you guys have your next match tomorrow against New Haven, and then Thursday against Dartmouth before conference play begins on Sunday. So Ruth, we wanted to thank you for coming on the program tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care, Ruth. Have a good night.
You too. You too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, Matt, that was our final interview of the night. It was a jammed-packed show. It was a marathon. How are you doing on your end, Matt?
I'm doing great, Brian. We're pushing through. I mean, I got to ask how you're doing. I mean, you did it. You ran the marathon.
I mean, we did it. It was a jam-packed show. It was great talking with Coach Lynn, Coach Christian, Coach Merritt, and then Ruth Ochelli there at the end. Great wide variety of sports here on the Bryant Bulldogs Sports Hour. Before we sign off, though, Matt, I do just want to say a special congratulations to you with your 100th show here on 990 WBOB. Tremendous honor. I just wanted to say congratulations for you. I know we talked about it on Tom's show, but I just wanted to give you your credit on here as well.
Well, thank you, Brian. I do appreciate that, and I just will take this moment briefly to once again thank everyone for making this possible. It's been about 2 years now, and thank you to everyone that listens that keep me on this station for 100 episodes strong and 100 episodes more to go.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, we hope to we'll be back on with you next week. We can't wait for the next 100 on your end, but. From the Bryant Bulldogs Sports Hour, I'm Brian Kostiw, joined alongside by Matthew Carvalho. You're listening to 990 WBOB. We'll talk to you guys next week.
The preceding program contained views, opinions, and thoughts that do not necessarily represent those of 990 WBOB, its management, or its staff. So now you know.